Namaskar. You may have read in PGurus that Iran insisted that it had spoken to the National Security Advisor and that Mr. Ajit Doval promised that the offender would be tried according to the law or something to that effect, that person will be prosecuted. It was left a little bit vague, but then after 24 hours, one noticed that on Iran's official website, this particular claim has gone. So does it mean that Iran is no longer insisting that the so-called offender be prosecuted? We don't know, but I just want to tell you that the last time I had talked about the apology gate, I had told you that Iran has a role to play in India and India's crude requirements. I just want to kind of walk you through how India's crude imports have been changing over a period of the last few years. If you had watched Daily Global Insights, Sree Iyerji and I would have talked about this, about how when India got cut off from Iran, the United States gave India a great deal. India could do withdrawal of however much they wanted from a strategic petroleum reserves that the US has in Saudi Arabia. So it was a good deal in the sense India could optionally take whatever they want and not have to worry about, oh my God, where am I going to store all this stuff because I don't have a way to store it. So all those things were addressed by United States. And therefore, if you just see the two slides that I'm going to show you, you'll see how India's import of crude from various countries has been changing. So here we go. So if you look at the years, the first one is a comparison. There are 2 years that are given, a decade of 2009 to 10 and 2021 to 22. Now, if you look at the latest, the number one supplier to India today is Iraq, followed by Saudi Arabia. And then you see how United States is a major player now. United States and Russia is also coming in. UAE is coming in, and there is no Iran. You see this? So what happens next is it possible that because India is not towing the line of the United States, that United States said, we are reconsidering whether we should give you crude or not, or whether we should allow you to continue the same facility that you were doing with Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, through Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. It's essentially American oil, but it is stored in Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. India could go and withdraw from there. So is US getting India out of its loop? Because US also has its own requirements, and US stopped using shale to process crude, or I should say to extract crude. So US has its own problems. So just keep that in mind. US has problems, and Iran has not been able to sell to anyone. So Iran has its own set of problems. And thirdly, Russia has told India that it can only satisfy the requirement of Indian Oil Corporation. And when HP and BP, Hindustan Petroleum and Bharat Petroleum, asked Rosneft, they said, no, we don't have any more crude available for you. So you have two companies, BP and HP, now scrambling to try and get their crude requirements. Otherwise, their stations will run dry. That's a problem. So where does all these things happen with the Nupur Gate? You know that Qatar and Iran are more or less, two peas in the same pod. And therefore, is this Iran's way of trying to, come into India to sell crude, now that United States under the Biden regime might not sanction India if it says, okay, you don't want to provide crude to us, we are going to go and buy it from Iran. So if that is the case, was this whole Nupur Gate a way to exert pressure on India? The problem is now India has a tricky situation. It needs crude, and it used to have some good deals. Now those deals are maybe up in the air. We don't know. I mean, I have not seen any announcement from the United States saying that they are cutting off whatever was the agreement they had with India. So there's a bit of a clamor, a scramble going on, if you will. But definitely the one source that India can bank upon is Iran, assuming Uncle Sam doesn't mind. Is this what going to happen? But more importantly, you see, this Qatar has been a very mischievous person in this whole thing, because if it was Qatar who started the ball rolling, they sort of insulted the Vice President of India, and I don't know how India will pay them back. Modi has a very deep memory. He is not someone who forgets these slights. So it is possible that India will pay Qatar back in another way. For example, Qatar doesn't have any food. It imports all its food. And guess where the food goes from? You guessed it right, Mumbai. So anyway, that's just one place. You never know. I mean, there may be some other suppliers too now. But it used to be that Middle East eggs, Middle East meat, Middle East, a lot of the stuff used to go from Mumbai. So interesting times ahead. It's unfortunate that they have used an innocent remark, and actually I should say innocent, a factual remark by Nupur Sharma, and use that to try, and each one is trying to shore up their positions. Unfortunately, India is not playing its hand, which is, I think, clever. You have to remember that all these Middle East countries don't have vaccines. They have to depend on either United Kingdom or United States or India. And if you look at pound for pound, which one is going to be the cheapest provider of vaccines? The answer is India. Okay, so you know now that India does have a few aces up its sleeve also. I don't hold a brief for anyone. I'm just reading the situation and I'm telling you my analysis. Many of you did not believe me 2-3 days ago when I said that Iran is going to get into the game. And now you can see Iran is very much in the game. And the only variable here I see is United States. And people say that it was United States which egged Qatar to make this noise. I don't know. Anything is possible. United States, after all, has Qatar over the barrel on many other things. You may have seen my yesterday's monologue about how a retired US general is now under the scanner. A retired ambassador is going to be prosecuted. He has admitted to his follies. And one Pakistani-American venture capitalist is now spending 12 years in prison. That hangout came yesterday. Do watch that one. It has a big bold graphic saying Qatar. So I think this is going to, the clarity is going to emerge very, very quickly, very short, in a short amount of time. We just have to be patient. Unfortunately, one BJP spokesperson now has been sacrificed at the altar of politics, global politics, I might say. And also it is whipping up passions, which is needless. So we need to not look at that, and that will die down with time. And the Yogi model of making anyone pay for breaking of public property, I think that needs to be instantly propagated and adopted by every state across India. Let's see what happens. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. If you think that our data was useful, show your appreciation by clicking on the super thanks button. And also don't forget to click on the bell button for notifications. Namaskar.